As expected, yesterday we did see Bitcoin push up higher in the price action, leading into new higher highs on the 1 hour time frame. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the technical analysis on BTC, where I'll be sharing my short and medium time frame expectations on the price action. As I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. If you are new to the channel, subscribe, and let's take a look at what's going on here with Bitcoin. So here we have BTC paired up with USDT. We're on the 1 hour Binance chart here for Bitcoin, and you can see we've progressed quite nicely past this kind of first area of consolidation. So in yesterday's video, we were looking for support to kind of be found on the 50 EMAs, 50 SMAs, kind of which we saw through Wednesday, the push up yesterday up into those kind of early hours. Now we were thinking maybe there was a test on the 50 SMA, but this area was a real key focus for Bitcoin's price action, right? We saw immediate rejection here, but consolidation inside and then a break to the upside, very much in line with our expectations. Now, of course, we still have that higher range that we've been talking about between 65 and 66, but we are right now in between these two ranges, which are very interesting key ranges for Bitcoin's price action. Okay, so at the point of recording, it being basically 5:20 UTC AM, so 0500 hours essentially, we can see here that we have pushed up quite nicely at the moment, right up into the $64,000 level, right? With a wick here being 64,133. So where we sit is very, very interesting and quite telling on the price action. We have this very interesting kind of structure appearing. And of course, you know, if we come and zoom out of this just a little bit and we bring in our expectations based on our Fibonacci levels, we go ahead and just pull this over to here. You can see that we are right inside that spot that we were talking about between 63,144 and 64,111. But we are, of course, pushing a little bit higher. Okay, and that means that we should still be thinking about those further pushes, in my opinion. It's not to say that we're impulsive. We have a lot of overlapping structures here. There's no 5-wave counts internally here, so I do think we're getting potentially some overextensions in places. I guess the hope would be that we'd have some kind of wave 1, 2, kind of 3, 4, and then kind of 5 like so. Okay, so I still see this potentially pushing just a bit further, but not terribly too much. Resistances are coming in at the $65,000 exactly. That's where we were previously, and this could be a big double top situation for Bitcoin's price action on the backs of everything that we've seen from, I guess, the kind of wild speculation around the Federal Reserve, the kind of money printing kind of getting turned on, the lower interest rates is an incredibly bullish sign. But as I've said before, I don't believe that we're going to be seeing these big bullish breaks to the upside into new all-time highs until we first cool off, which typically happens after a Federal Reserve pivot. So we kind of have this move still going on. It's not exactly a sell the news event. It didn't sell it directly on the back of the FOMC news, but I do suspect that actually that rug is going to get pulled at some point. Now, if we take a look at our momentum, we're overbought on the 1 day, the 8 hour, the 4 hour, and we're progressing quite nicely now towards the overbought on the 1 hour time frame as well. So still some progression to the upside, but it is starting to kind of turn. Our divergence indicator saw some hidden bullish divergence here as we kind of bottomed out earlier this morning, actually. So midnight, we saw hidden bullish divergence, and we've seen this break to the upside. Okay, so that's a good positive right there as we kind of lead back up into the overbought area on the relative strength index. We turn that off and bring our volume profiles in. Our volume profiles are, of course, decreasing during this move to the upside. There is divergence here. We have higher highs on the price action on the 1 hour time frame. Whilst that is going on, our volumes are decreasing into lower highs. This kind of divergence shows that there is weakness in this move to the upside, and we will be expecting a reversal in the market, very much in line with the kind of bigger macro pieces. So great to see some price action, you know, here for XRP's price action to kind of be quite nice and positive, but ultimately we are still looking for further declines here. Now, if we get a double top with the $65,000 level, there will be some people that will want to kind of say that maybe we have some kind of cup and handle forming. That would look something to this effect. Now, the problem that we'd have with that is this V-shaped bottom here doesn't typically kind of work when it comes to cup and handles. Typically, you find that we have a kind of nice curved bottom like this for the cups in the ideal world. We then have a retracement and then a break to the upside, right? I don't think that's really what's going on here in terms of a cup and handle, but people will kind of draw that out and kind of think that that's what's going on. Cup and handles are about 67% accurate, so take it with a kind of pinch of salt. The cup itself would have to find support above the 50% level of retracement, simply because anything lower than that is basically not classed as a cup and handle. The cup has to stay above 50% retracement from the low to the peak there on the right side of the cup. So we'll keep an eye on it. It's possible. Anything is possible in crypto, but I don't think that's really what's going on when it comes to the price action for BTC. So what's the next trade opportunity? Well, we do have the ability to kind of think about some of these long positions going on. I do apologize for any of the noise in the background there. There's some building work going on in the apartments above me and to the right of me, so I apologize for that. But I think the short is really what we're looking for. We are looking for rejection. Maybe we can get a double top. That would be a bearish place to be. So we look for the short, stop loss higher than the $66,000, and we target out the 200 EMA. Nice 3.38 risk reward ratio, and we wanted to hold something for a period of time. So there is some trading opportunities in there for some short opportunities on BTC. Now, as I roll this up into our daily time frame here, we can see and take stock of the entire situation. We are still in lower highs and lower lows on the daily time frame. That hasn't really changed. We have to really see a big break above $70,000 to really kind of be taking a look at the market through a more bullish lens. Until that happens, it's great that we can see these kind of relief rallies and these kind of pushes to the upside. But until we kind of get break above into a higher high on the daily time frame, we have to be very skeptical over what potentially is on the horizon next for BTC. So although we got some positivity here, it's great to see. We've kind of gone through some of these previous resistances, which is nice. We obviously did see the death cross, which basically was only really reacting to the negativity that we'd seen previously, and a bit of a push to the upside. So a bit of a fake pull to the downside and a run to the upside. This, of course, does still have the potential to run up a little bit higher. On the daily time frame, you can really see here that this does have the ability to go up into that kind of range of a higher high on the daily time frame. But we do obviously have to have a significant breakout for that to occur. Typically, we'd actually be looking for 66,390 to 68,668 under the idea of a kind of ABC structure, three-wave pattern in here. And this would actually then allow us to also look at the entire structure being a very corrective structure up into that range, which will be a part of a much bigger correction to the downside like so. Basically looking for a move towards $49,000 if this pattern plays out. Of course, this particular pattern is very interesting to me because it's a part of a much bigger play in my opinion. I don't think that this structure is the one that's actually playing out, and I actually believe that we are in a more bigger bearish macro move, something more to this effect where we see the $40,000 to $44,000 level. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that. The momentum indicator is one key aspect to that, where we can see that we're heavily and quite aggressively overbought on BTC here. If we turn the stochastic RSI off and bring on the divergence indicator, i.e. the relative strength index, you can also see that we're coming up to previous areas where we have seen rejection on the relative strength index. If I go ahead and pull that in there, you can see that this rejection was really coming in at around 66.38 historically. There was a little bit of a move a little bit higher, more towards kind of 68, but right now we're at 63.74. If we see more continued rejection from this level, we could see a pretty nasty turn in the market for BTC, which is in line with the expectations around a Federal Reserve pivot. Now, if I go ahead and take our volumes into consideration here, we have to kind of consider that volumes have been decreasing as we've had this push to the upside. Obviously, it's quite dramatic with the larger sell volumes that we had seen. If we zoom in on this just a little bit, you can still see that the volumes were higher even as we kind of moved down on the 6th of September. So the volumes are not being very supportive of this relief rally to the upside. And again, that just fuels this idea that we are still looking for this one last push to the downside before we get into the bigger runs of 2025 and the big bull market of 2025. Okay, so we want to be very mindful that the daily time frame is looking likely to be a bearish one for a little while, but it's a huge opportunity nonetheless. Also, this is something that's in line with what we see with some of the whale activity, right? We see larger holders of 10,000 BTC or more selling off. We aren't really seeing the 1,000 BTC wallets really buying up. We are seeing 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, MicroStrategy, looking to acquire another $700 million worth of Bitcoin. Again, these kind of things, they aren't set in stone just yet. So we are looking for the buying opportunity, which I think is going to be down here at that kind of $44,000 to $40,000 before we get into those new all-time highs, where we are going to be targeting out well above $100,000 BTC, in my opinion, which will be a 2025 move, which I've been through previously in terms of what's going on with the elections in the US, monetary policies, all those kind of things building up into these nicer, bigger moves when it comes to Bitcoin. So there's a lot going on with BTC. There's a lot of hype and hope. There's a lot of people kind of building out their long positions now, which I think is actually going to be a big trap. And we are going to see cascading liquidations, I think, to the downside at some point in the coming weeks. And that is the big red flag that we want to be aware of. Now, it's great that we see some positivity here, but I don't think it's going to be long-lived. You can let me know what your thoughts are on all of this in the comments down below, or join us in our free Discord server linked in the description. We would love to hear from you. If you found today's video useful and informative, smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe and check out this video right here. It's not one you're going to want to miss.